everyone, it's Erica. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about some of the series I want to read before the end of 2018. The first series I want to get to is Graceling by Kristin Cashore. This is the first book in a YA fantasy trilogy. I don't know much about this trilogy except that it's about a girl who is labeled the Graceling, so she's sort of an outcast. I remember this trilogy was popular on BookTube a few years ago, and I've been wanting to get into more YA fantasy, so I definitely want to pick this trilogy up. I hear that it has a lot of action, plus it has some really good romance, so I'm looking forward to that as well. The next series I want to read is the Defiance Trilogy by Redwine. It's the first book in a YA fantasy trilogy. I talked about this book in my October TBR, and that I might pick it up in October, but we'll see. This book follows a girl named Rachel Adams. While most girls in Balboden are sewing dresses and obeying their male protectors, Rachel lives in the wilderness and is learning to wield a sword. When her father, Jared, fails to return from a courier mission and is declared dead, Rachel wants to find out what happens to him. The city's commander assigns Rachel a new protector, her father's apprentice named Logan. Logan is the boy that Rachel declared her love for a couple of years ago, and he's the same boy who handed Rachel's heart right back to her. Logan is an orphan and outcast in Balboden, and he's focusing on learning his trade so he can escape the tyranny of Balboden. Logan never planned on being responsible for his mentor's daughter. He's determined to protect her, but when his escape plan fails, Logan realizes he has more at stake than just disappointing his mentor, Jared. This definitely sounds like an interesting fantasy. It also sounds like it might have a little bit of a dystopian flair to it. Hopefully I like it. Next up, I want to read Born at Midnight by C.C. Hunter. This is the first book in a YA paranormal fantasy series, and it follows this girl named Kylie Gatelin, who finds herself at the wrong party with the wrong people. And soon, her mother ships her off to Shadow Falls, which is a camp for troubled teens. Vampires, werewolves, witches, shapeshifters, and fairies train alongside each other, learning to harness their powers while living in the normal world. Kylie doesn't think she belongs with these paranormal freaks, but they ensure her that she was brought here for a reason. She also meets this guy named Derek, who's a half-fae, and he's determined to be her boyfriend. She also meets this guy named Lucas, who's a hot werewolf, and they share a past. It sounds like Kylie gets into a love triangle with these two guys, and needs to decide who she wants to be with. This sounds like an interesting YA paranormal fantasy, and hopefully the love triangle is done well. We'll see. The next series that I want to get to before the end of the year is the Sweet Evil Trilogy by Wendy Higgins. This is another YA paranormal fantasy trilogy, and it follows the sons and daughters of fallen angels. In this world, your existence depends on being a bad influence. We follow the main character named Anna Witt, who has always been a good girl, but she's had this inexplicable pull towards danger. She's always had her angel side to balance things out, but that changes when she meets Caden Rowe. She finds herself drawn to him, even though she knows she's supposed to avoid him. The next series I want to read is actually one that I don't own, but that's the Undelete Trilogy by Marie Lu. I don't know much about this trilogy other than the fact that it's a YA fantasy and it follows villains. That alone intrigues me. It's quite popular. I'm eager to see what my opinion of it is. And the final series I want to read before the end of 2018 is the Rhyria Revelations Trilogy by Michael J. Sullivan. This is an adult fantasy trilogy, and I talked about this series in my adult fantasy series I want to read. I'll link that video in a card in case you guys are interested in seeing the adult fantasy series I want to read. This series follows two thieves named Royce Melbourne and Hadrian Blackwater. They're tasked with carrying out dangerous assignments by conspiring nobles, and they're just going about their daily lives as thieves until they're accused of killing the king, and they have to prove who did it since they've been falsely accused. This definitely sounds like it could be an intriguing fantasy, and I'm excited to see all of the interesting revelations or betrayals that happen. Theft of Swords is the first book in this trilogy. Rise of Empire is the second book. Heir of Novron is the third and final book. This trilogy is actually a bind-up of 2 books in one, so each volume holds 2 books in it. This trilogy also has a spin-off trilogy that follows the 2 thieves before they became friends. If I like this original trilogy, I might read the spin-off. We'll have to wait and see. Those are all of the series that I want to read before the end of 2018. What books do you want to read before the year is over? I'd love to know. If you want to see more videos from me, I'll put some videos up on the screen in case you guys want to check those out. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.